Lead editor David Burdett.
So went to Nashville this weekend and got to see Uncharted and The Batman while I was out. Both a lot of fun. Uncharted's just a fun movie. Kind of reminds me of National Treasure.
Right.
And The Batman is just brutal. That's the best way to put it. Brutal. I have a couple criticisms that make it where it doesn't supersede Dark Knight, but there are very few movies that supersede Dark Knight for me because it's in my top all-time movies. And Ledger's performance is just so legendary. It's kind of hard to beat that portrayal of the Joker for any villain. So, but Batman, whole lot of fun. So people should definitely check both of those movies out. And thankfully, looks like Uncharted, they've already got a lot of money in there, so they're looking at this to be a series.
Oh wow.
I am interested in the Batman only because they're really, it seems like they're delving deep into the darker side of Batman, and it seems like it's another like origin kind of Batman story, but it's still the darker side. And I finished the very first Batman comic, and you remember it's like, oh yeah, this dude's messed up. Like he's not quite, grounded in the same way people would like to think of Bruce Wayne as Batman. So I am curious to see how this is portrayed.
I saw a meme and it was saying, according to the Batman, he would have been killed, or his parents would have been killed around 2001. So that means his parents were killed in the alley after they took him to see Shrek.
Yeah.
That's jacked.
It is.
Editor Noah Outsaldua.
It has been a long week, gamers, but we're here. We made it. So I'm happy for this. I'm excited to get into the show. It's been too long.
Oh, you're just happy. We're back. Yeah, it has been 2 weeks. Yes, we are here. All right, my name is Anthony Shelton, YouTube content creator, editor. I don't know. I have all kinds of roles. And
whatever we throw at him.
Yeah, I am what everyone says I am.
He is
whatever David says I am for the week. That's what I am. My wife and child are gone for the weekend, so today through Sunday. So I am the bachelor for now. Lone wolfing it, but I'm gonna make my bed. I'm gonna keep making my bed because I did. It was weird because when I was a single guy, I didn't make my bed because why? Nobody's going to see my room, and I'm going to get it in anyway, so why do I have to make my bed? But you know what, David, you understand. Noah, you might be able to understand a little bit. When the girlfriend or the wife starts getting in your life, things change, and I have become a better man. So I will continue to make my bed, even while my wife is not here. No amens.
Play a whole lot of.
I get it.
A lot of Destiny.
Yeah, and a whole lot of Destiny. After I make the bed, I'm gonna sit in bed while playing Destiny.
I'm gonna sit in that. He's gonna make his own bed and sit in it.
Darn right. All right, let's get into our icebreakers. So, let's just say we visit each other's cities. Where are you taking us to eat? So, David, Noah and I come to visit you. Where are you going to take us to eat?
So I do live in a small town, but we do have a bigger town up above us that has a whole lot of places. However, we've recently got a really good place, local place that's in our town called Achilles Greek Grill. They have some of the tastiest gyro and the chicken that they've got there. It's marinated and seasoned just deliciously. They've got fries. They've got yellow rice. I mean, it's super tasty. So Achilles restaurant that's here, it's just fantastic, and I would love to take y'all to it.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. I got to be fair about this.
Go ahead.
Is it do you like it so much because it's the only local Greek spot that you got?
We have some other ones in Cookeville, I'm not necessarily one to try a lot of different things when it comes to like outside of my comfort zone. I went there and ate it, and the guy who actually owns it is Greek. So
Okay.
he makes all this stuff himself, and I've been in love with it. As soon as they opened, we went and tried it, and I didn't know what to expect. If me being as picky as I can love it, it has to be good.
Okay. Okay. Noah, where are you taking David and I?
I think I'm going to take y'all to this place called Los Molcajetes. It's got they've got a few locations. It's like Tex-Mex. It's in Texas. It's not in Alabama because there's like 2 good restaurants in Alabama.
Okay, Tex-Mex, all right.
It's Tex-Mex. They've got like really great enchiladas, really great fajitas, really great tacos. Like they've got a lot. They've got pretty much anything. But like I wouldn't recommend tacos to Anthony from LA because why would I? LA tacos are going to be way better. But like their Tex-Mex level stuff is really great. And I love it. And apparently, this is something I didn't know about Los Molcajetes until like 2 years ago. But one of the people that I like used to play Destiny 2 with, and now I play like a lot of Apex with him. His parents own Los Molcajetes and like the whole chain.
Yo,
which is like insane. So like sometimes he's just like, "Hey, you want to go to Los M?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I do." So then we go, and it's just like he gets it because like it's free for him. So it's just like, all right, yeah, I'm down.
I mean, do you get a little discount too?
I mean, not if I go by myself.
Oh yeah, no, not by yourself.
But no, when I go with him, it's just like it's all on the house. It's all free. Yeah.
That's the first place we're going, David. Yep. We'll save yours
with your Apex
for second.
buddy.
Yeah. With the Apex, it will not happen. We're making friends when we come.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take y'all to Coop's West Texas Barbecue, a spot in San Diego. Yeah, kind of unexpected there, huh? You thought it was gonna be a taco spot. Go. No, it's a West Texas barbecue spot, and dang, it's good. Gotta have the ribs. The ribs are tender, they fall off the bone, and it's got this like sweet like glaze on the top, like a little barbecued glaze on top. Yeah, so you already know what's up. Everything else is good too. You got good mac and cheese, you got good cornbread, you got good, it's all everything legit good. And I've been to Texas, I've had amazing Texas barbecue, so I know what's up. All right, this is what's up, and it's out here, San Diego, and I'm telling everybody when I can, oh, there's no good barbecue spots. Yes, there is. Let me tell you about Coop's West Texas Barbecue. Now, funny enough, there are actually more up-and-coming barbecue spots, but this is definitely one of the good ones. So that's where I'm going to take y'all when you come out here. All right, let's get into our trending news segment. So, this is a weird one because I don't remember a time when developers threw shade at other game developers for things that were wrong or off or whatever in games. So, here's the scenario. There's a tweet that came out from Ahmed Salama. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but from this developer, he works on Ubisoft's UX design. So he put out a tweet, and it said, the fact that Elden Ring scored a 97 Metacritic is proof that reviewers don't give a flaming poop about game UX, user experience. My life is a lie. And then 2 other developers actually responded to that as well. Now, a lot of reports that were coming out were saying, oh, this developer threw shade at the Elden Ring developers. I didn't think that tweet in and of itself was shade. I thought it was just whatever. I'm entertaining my timeline, trying to tell them that I design user experiences for games, and Elden Ring has this bad user experience. So why should I work so hard at my job if nobody cares about this? My life is a lie. Like that's how I interpreted it. But then he went forward with another tweet that basically said I can't find it because he made his profile private. So, but he basically said he imagines From Software developers smoking at their desks and using CRT monitors to develop the game.
That's a lot.
That's too much. So I don't know why developers are picking on Elden Ring. I don't know what it is about Elden Ring itself. I don't remember a time where this has happened, though, which is why I do think publications are picking up on this story, because we don't see this all the time where developers critique other developers in a snarky way. And that's exactly what this was. It does feel like shade. And the fact that this guy came off of Battlefield 2042 and is now developing UX for Ubisoft. I mean, that's just easy jabs for people. Ubisoft's got a reputation, and certainly Battlefield 2042 has a reputation, especially with us. We think all the cheaters need to be funneled into Battlefield 2042. Doesn't matter what game you're cheating in. But David, when was the last time you've seen this from developers? And, do you think that developers should be publicly criticizing other developers in this way?
I don't know that I've ever seen it this publicly is the big thing. Like, just out in the open for everybody. You should know better than to post something like this on Twitter, because everyone's going to come after you on it. I do think, and I believe Noah agrees with me, that critique is a good thing. It is something that needs to happen. We should be. I mean, let's just say it isn't completely wrong what he's saying. The game got a 97, and nobody was critiquing certain things about the game that deserved some critique. We saw, like, I've played a little bit of Elden Ring on PlayStation 5. There's been some pretty nasty pop in some sections. Horizon had it as well, but they were dinged for it where Elden Ring wasn't. There's certain critiques that are missing when they're with one game, but they're not with the other. And some of that leads us back to our last discussion that we had with reviewers getting games early, because they didn't have enough time to really sit with this. For instance, Call of Duty Vanguard. I didn't get a lot of time to play it. I gave it a pretty high score. If I had to go back tomorrow and re-review the game, score would probably drop a little bit, I have to say, because there's certain things that I've caught the more I've played it that stick out more like a sore thumb to me. So criticism is a good thing, but why be so being so open about it on Twitter of all places? That's where the real issue lies. Twitter is a public forum, yes, but you come across looking petty that way, especially considering you're the one who designed what is one of the worst reviewed games of last year. It makes it look bad on your part. Like you said, people are going to just pick on you instead of, even if you have a legitimate point, all people are going to do is pick on you because of it. Elden Ring UX may have some issues, but you made Battlefield, which doesn't work at all. So there's probably some critique that needs to happen with certain things in Elden Ring, but it's not going to happen right like that, because it even gets followed up, I believe, with a couple other developers, including a Horizon developer that actually dings at him on quest design and admit the Souls games have never been about leading you to quests. That actually kind of drives me insane, because I'm a very structured playing video games person, and Elden Ring throws all that crap out the window. So guess who's reading guides by people and trying to get this stuff figured out? But it's a fun game, so I'm still playing it. I'll admit, if the internet did not exist, I probably would walk away from it and not even touch it. But
no, you'd buy a player's guide. Remember those?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I still own. I actually thought about grabbing the Horizon one just to own it. But it's more of a, man, you really should not have, you really should not be dang it in a game when you aren't the prime example of a great game.
Noah?
Yeah, I think critiquing things is a good thing when it's deserved. And this is like the biggest Elden Ring or the biggest like From Software game we've seen, so it's reaching more people. And I
One
feel
of the
like
biggest games ever.
I feel like some of this stuff might come from like the people drawing direct comparisons from Elden Ring and saying like, "Oh, this is what Elden Ring would look like if it was made by like a Ubisoft," and it's like a screen cluttered with like quest markers and like talk to Margit or like talk to whoever, talk to this person, like and then X'd out, X'd out. It's like, yeah, I think that might have drawn some like UX people to be like, "Hey, that's mean. I'm going to be mean in return." But those memes were created by people that did not have a hand in developing the game, which is a huge difference. And I think Elden Ring is like a breath of fresh air in terms of a game that doesn't hold your hand throughout every single step of the process, and that is a good thing or a bad thing depending on who you are. Um, and I'm talking about this like separate from an accessibility standpoint, just in terms of like quest stuff and
Sure.
like and telling you, oh, this is actually better than that, but we're not going to give you like a compare button. You just have to kind of like familiarize with yourself with our systems, and then you can kind of determine that. And I think that
Good.
there's like merit in that. I think that there is merit in saying, yeah, why don't you try and figure out our systems, and then once you do, you'll feel like an immense sense of success and achievement. And if you don't figure that out, well then, I mean, but like actually, like an
For user
actual,
experience?
yeah, like I mean, I think it all interlocks with each other. Like if you're not like okay, if let's say I'm looking to make a build for like a nice bleed build, like a dual wield bleeding build, and I get this new katana, and then I say, okay, like I'll keep on upgrading my decks because it scales with that, and that's like what the menu's telling me and all this. Yeah, I feel like it's like all very like key to the whole experience. Like the UX drives the game design, and the game design drives the UX. Um, I just don't think you can divorce those two things. So like creating that good build that allows you to finally beat this boss, it adds to that success. Like, okay, I not only triumphed over the boss design, but I also triumphed over, finding that key. Okay, this doesn't make me fat roll. I can like get the bleed off quickly with this because I scaled arcane, and some people don't even know that arcane actually helps you bleed things faster. It's like things like that. Like I think that's something that some people take like pride in, like I do for sure. And also another aspect of it is that this game makes me feel like I'm playing like pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons more than like a Divinity Original Sin 2, which arguably should make me feel more like I'm playing a Dungeons and Dragons, but because of its like because of how much it asks you to explore every single aspect of the game, whether it be the map or the menus and like pressing X to read more, or like square if you're on PlayStation controller to read more about those items and like what they actually do. I love that. I love like delving into things to like read the lore about them, but also how I could possibly like let that inform how I use it. I think that's really cool. Um, like there's one thing where you, if you're fighting Margit, you're having trouble. You might go explore different things. You find patches. You fight him. You don't kill him. It's all these choices that you have to make. But then if you don't kill him, you might see that he's selling a shackle, Margit shackle, and you're like, I don't know what's that. You buy it, and then I don't know. It's just like a whole thing, a whole list of things you might do, and then if you do, it'll actually help you beat Margit because you've been having trouble with it. So I feel like in some ways, yeah, the UX is like kind of hard to penetrate, but once you do, you're rewarded in such like a great way that you would not get if you had a game like Assassin's Creed or uh, any other game with like a ton of quest markers. And I don't know that that's a bad thing.
I do think people are unfairly calling him out, at least on the Ubisoft comparison, because Ubisoft has incorporated that limited UI UX now for the screen. Like you can turn a lot of that stuff off now. They've actually done that, I believe, since Origin, if I'm not mistaken.
They've been doing that in other games since before that.
So there are teams like Horizon, absolutely love Forbidden West's. It's a limited UI. You swipe up on the touchpad and it pops it up, and then it goes away as you continue on. One big issue I do have with I'm assuming it's probably the UX, no pause button in this game. I do not think that makes sense in the slightest. Maybe it's just me, but and I get it because you can't pause an online game and whatnot, but this is a single player game in the end. Yes, there's co-op and other stuff, but you should be able to pause.
There's a lot of games that need pause that don't have pause.
Oh yeah, but this one especially, as punishing as it is, especially because you can cheese a pause.
Right.
You can go do the menu and then do that whole menu explanation thing, and it'll actually pause the game. The fact that it's possible to cheese it makes it worse.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have a problem with the UI also. Just the way you have to navigate the menus, which I know seems to be the big sticking point that I am aware of. I don't see as big of a discussion as a problem with quest design or trying to figure out where to go next. That is built in, lack of a better, comparison.
Admittedly, yeah. I know what I'm getting when I buy a Souls game, that it's going to be that way.
Yeah. So I didn't know, Breath of the Wild was going to be that way. And I am very much Google Maps. I need it. And Breath of the Wild does not give me Google Maps. So I think about something with Elden Ring and it's yeah. If I ain't got the waypoint, I'm going to be wasting a lot of time. Let me choose when I want to go do side quest, just run around, do stuff. But if I want to just progress, then me getting lost is just going to make me frustrated and irritated because this world is so big. And yeah, I need a signpost. You know what? People on the streets need signposts too. That's why they exist. So we know where we're going. So, but that again is part of the experience from freaking Dark Souls, as if I'm correct. So this is not something new, but I do think people are also talking about the actual menu. Yeah, and I'm not sure if this is what Ahmed Salama is talking about, but that's what I was thinking of when he was making that. I was the menus aren't fantastic, which that is also a part of the UX. But in terms of quest design or, stability and performance, all that stuff can be, who knows what's experiencing what with stability issues. We saw Cyberpunk. We knew the PC players had a better experience. Even them, it was varied between, what kind of hardware you had. So that's how that kind of works sometimes.
That's people a sad thing for Elden Ring, though. PC, not very good. They did not optimize it well.
As far as I understood, a lot of people did review it on PlayStation 5. So I suppose that was good. Don't know. But let's get into something a little less or a little more relaxing. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were announced. And just to give some context, each version will have exclusives. Of course, there's Scarlet and Violet. They're going to continue that tradition, but part of the new tradition, I guess, now there will be exclusive outfits between each version. I don't know how far that extends, but that is something new. It will obviously have some exclusive Pokemon, but we don't know the extent of that. But it also could have exclusive gym leaders and trainers like Sword and Shield. So we'll see what happens with more information regarding that. But we also got the 3 starters, which is actually interesting because usually they show the legendaries and not necessarily the starters when they announce these kind of games. So it's kind of cool that we got the starters. So there is Sprigatito, which is the grass type kitty. You got Fuecoco, the fire type crocodile. And then you have Quaxley, the water type duck. Now, I'm picking Fuecoco because I'm a fire type guy. I'm always going to start with the fire type, so that's already settled for me. But what I want to see out of Scarlet and Violet, Violet, just a smidge more violence. Yeah, I want to see the Pokemon actually hit each other now, which we know that's never going to happen. So, not with the main games, but I want it to be more difficult. When I see this game, I see it as a kind of a restart of Red and Blue because, like, oh, what is happening? What's so funny?
You want it to be more difficult. They're gonna get the UI designer from FromSoft.
So jacked. That's so jacked up. So I don't want Red and Blue menu design. Okay, that was rough. But it feels like a callback to Red and Blue. Scarlet is a deeper red, Violet is a deeper blue. You know, like if you think about it, and this is pretty much, as much as we want to call Sword and Shield like an open world game, it was like pseudo open world. Like this looks like the very first open world Pokemon game where all the world is just you go where you go. And that seems like the start of something for Game Freak on the Nintendo Switch, whereas Pokemon Red and Blue was the start of something originally on the Game Boy. So that's what this kind of feels like. Red and Blue were difficult games. Like, they were probably the most difficult Pokemon games. Probably, I guess Black and White could be considered a little difficult, but Red and Blue were one of the toughest ones. Pretty much after that, it got easier and easier and easier. Sun and Moon was easy. Sword and Shield was super easy. I want Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to be more difficult. I want the gym leaders to be more difficult. I want us to be forced in some situation to be able to have to get certain Pokemon, not by name, but by type at least, in order to accomplish tasks. I want us to have to work a little bit harder to accomplish things. Gym leaders, I'd like to grind a little bit. I don't want to have to just play the game super casually and I'm already at level all the time and I barely even have to have type advantages to win. That's where Pokemon is at now. Let's bring back a little bit more difficulty. A little bit of earning is fine. You look at the RPGs that are showing up on Nintendo Switch right now, you got to earn it a little bit. You got to grind a little bit. Pokemon's not going to die with a little bit of more grind, with a little bit more difficulty. Even though I know this is also aimed at kids, a lot of adults play this game still, me included. Noah, what do you want to see from Pokemon Scarlet Violet? And who's going to be your starter?
I think that a good way to get that, because I want a more difficult Pokemon experience. Like, I've been wanting one since, well, really, I wanted Sword and Shield to be that difficult experience because I was like, oh, the wild area sounds cool. There's going to be, like, powerful Pokemon there. But all that really meant is that once you catch one of those powerful Pokemon, you just get 10 free levels because the game sucks at balancing anything. And for every one of your Pokemon.
Yep.
And after that, I was like, I have my, like, my party diversity. I've got, like, a good party, I think. And now I'm going to go play the game. And I was like, oh, wait, I'm 20 levels over for every single gym battle I do.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't want that. And maybe a way to, appease both, like, the kids that this is definitely going to appeal to and the more veteran, fans, you could do, like, difficulty options. And for an example of a game that I previewed for Gaming Trend a while back, Koromon is like a kind of Pokemon monster catching and taming type game that's like by these indie developers. And that game seems to do it really well. It's still not out. I've been waiting on it to come out for like ever, it feels like, since last E3. But that game, the way that they handle the difficulty options, it's like there's like easy, medium, and hard, and there's also you can customize every like single aspect of that. And I would love for that. Like some of it was like battles give you less money or more money depending on if you're on easy or hard, or like you lose less money on dying and things like that. But they also like went on to like damage and stuff like that. I think something like that would be really great. I also want from this I want them to take what Legends Arceus did, and I want them to implement that. Like the Arceus catching system is really cool. I think the open world stuff lends itself to that. And lastly, I want this game to be really fun to explore. Like Elden Ring is a great example of a world that feels alive because there's all these nooks and crannies that exist without you having to be there, having to have a waypoint on it. They just exist, and you can find it or you can't. And if you do, it feels like you earned something, like you earned a moment. And I would love those moments. Like Breath of the Wild was great at that. And I feel like this game should definitely take advantage of that. And there'd be so many cool ways to do that. Like you could reward it with like a rare Pokemon encounter or like a different. I don't know. There's so many ways to make that an interesting, cool thing. Yeah, and I just going back to like the difficulty stuff. They need to rework the experience system because I feel like maybe the old way is a little too boring, a little too static. Having one Pokemon level up and that's it. And then if you have an XP share and you can put it on one Pokemon, I feel like that might be too much in the wrong direction. But I feel like the current trend of just giving every Pokemon experience on a catch is too much. Like it just allows your Pokemon party to just get like insanely overpowered very quickly. So they need to rework that. They need to somehow find a way to make it a little more linear instead of just making it feel like you exponentially go up and you're just never coming down. And I feel like they can do that. And then, like you said, rivals, I feel like in particular need to be challenging. Like one of the rivals last release in Sword and Shield was like Beady or Bead. I don't remember how you say that name. And all they used was Psychic Pokemon and Ghost maybe. So all I did was use the Fox one that was like dark, and I used one move of his, and I spammed it. Like I ran out of PP just because you could just wipe the whole team. So yeah. Also interesting Pokemon designs. That's the last thing I'll say. Toxtricity was from Sword and Shield. Amazing Pokemon design in my opinion. He has like, guitar things that he can strum, and that does damage. And like if you gave him throat spray, it would be insane. But also you don't have to give him throat spray because game's easy.
Right.
But yeah, that was really cool. I'm gonna pick Fuecoco also, just because I feel like I always pick the water. Because it's like my choice.
Hey, Quaxley got a little swag though, to be honest.
He does. But you know, like Oshawott and Poplio, they didn't really speak to me. And what's his name from last? I don't know. Inteleon, whoever else. I don't know. Whoever evolved into Inteleon was like the first one that I was like, okay, that's cool. But again, I'm not feeling Quaxley that much, so I'm going Fuecoco. He looks cute. He looks like he'd have a dope final evolution.
Agreed.
Yeah.
David, you got any Pokemon love in you still?
I haven't played a lot of the series. I played a ton of Heart Gold, and that was really the last time I heavy duty played one.
Pokemon. Period.
So good.
So
I haven't played a lot. But that being said, they definitely need to keep moving into the open world space. You can kind of tell they've already tested the waters a bit with what they did with Arceus, whatever you call it. And that's the direction they're going. The team over at Game Freak has a way of testing something out in little spots so that before they start putting it into the other series, with Arceus, it feels that way. Something that's really odd is almost feels like, and I know Pokemon fans buy the crap out of the games no matter what, it almost feels like they're cutting the legs short on Arceus. Because
that's what I was thinking.
Pokemon games in 1 year. So it's a little odd, but they are moving into this. They have a good chance to perfect some of the things that they already did in Arceus, like especially making the environments feel better. Because the game, I know it's not built to look like Horizon Forbidden West or Elden Ring, but you can put a little more work into making everything look a little prettier, if just a little bit.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild looks much better.
Besides that, maybe they could work some sort of, and correct me, it's like I said, I don't play them a lot, but a bit more of a crafting system into the game would be a really interesting idea.
They have a
that they
very
could bring
light
into
one
it.
in Arceus, yeah.
But just the way maybe going a little bit more into the, honestly, what would be
Just
really
make it
cool
an
is
MMO.
be able to forge your own Pokeballs. How cool would that be?
Yeah, you could do that in Arceus in some
Yeah.
form or fashion. Simple,
So
very simple.
So being
but-
able to do stuff like that, or finding from doing a quest for somebody like recipes that can improve specific Pokemon stats and stuff like that. And so you've got to go out into the world and find specific items and stuff. Just good ways to make the experience varied, as opposed to, I know you've already talked a bit to reworking the experience system. That's a good way to add something that changes up how you go about leveling up and turning it into a plan, not just, oh, I got to go and grind and battle a bunch of gym leaders. Or it can be more of a, I could go after a really big specific bonus if I went out and hunted for this stuff and made this recipe to feed my Pokemon with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's actually,
a thought.
there's been a lot of that stuff added throughout the franchise, but it hasn't been implemented in an open world sense. So a lot of it is, classic, Super NES style RPG. You go up to something, you pick it off the tree, you have the thing. You go to the other thing, you kind of put it together, and boom, you have it. There's not, I guess you could say Poffins in Ruby and Sapphire could be like the closest thing to like an interactive experience of trying to create things. I think Diamond and Pearl also had something that was interactive. So there
it's
are
just not
those
as deep a system.
Yeah, it's not deep for sure. There are very deep systems within Pokemon, especially when you start getting into the competitive aspect, which I did for Diamond and Pearl for a long time. So it could get wildly deep if you want to, get like very specific Pokemon with specific stats and feed them specific things, like get all these kind of specific items and duplicating them, and it gets crazy. But what I've been seeing when I've been playing Sword and Shield and even Sun and Moon, everything's becoming just a little too easy. Too easy to get things, too easy to get Pokemon, too easy to battle. When you look back at Red and Blue, the first gym leader, and I'm just using battling as an example, the first gym leader, Brock, had a Geodude at level 12 and an Onix at level 14. Like, you had to level up in order to take on those Pokemon. And those are rock ground types, right? The only grass type you had was Oddish that you could catch. Maybe. Otherwise, you're using Bulbasaur or you're using Squirtle to take out Brock. But their defense was so high at that point, like you had to level up a little bit in order to one-shot them, basically. So my point is, even through the first 3 gym leaders, like the levels, like you had to grind a little bit. You had to spend time in Mount Moon a little bit to take out all the Zubats constantly and the Geodudes that you found, and take on the Nugget Bridge, and make sure you fight all the trainers that you can, because if you don't, you're gonna be a little underleveled. You might have to spend time in the grassy areas to take out some Pokemon. Good thing is you might find some more Pokemon that might help. There's just so many different things in Red and Blue. Totally a terribly optimized game originally, made better with Fire Red and Leaf Green, but the point is you had to work for some stuff. Not working for anything anymore. And that's what's so annoying. Like, it's cool I can craft some stuff. Cool I can make Poffins. I'm not working for much, though. So if we can reintroduce that in Scarlet and Violet, which seems to be like a reset for Game Freak with the Nintendo Switch and Pokemon Now being open world, I'd be really happy with that. Really happy.
Yeah. I will say that Gen 3 felt like a really great balance to me in terms of exploration, because Mauville is one of the things I think about all the time, where the first time you go there, it's okay, it's Mauville, and there's an electric gym or whatever, and then eventually you end up coming back and you realize, oh, there's a whole underground old version of Mauville underneath, and
yeah,
it's a
I
whole
do remember
dungeon.
that.
That was dope. That was a new layer coming on later.
Ruby and Sapphire did have a big area. Like,
Yeah.
it was worth exploring. I don't like Ruby and Sapphire that much, but I agree. It was fun to explore.
Yeah, and then like the first gym in Ruby and Sapphire is like, it's rock type, and if you start with Torchic, for example, there is like a pathway to win that. You just have to evolve your Torchic and get double kick, and then okay, now you can take on Nose Pass and like Roxanne's repertoire. So it's like really cool in that way because there is a pathway, and like kind of Gen 5 does that too with like giving you the Pan Seer or the Pan Pour or like the Pan Grow, whatever the other one is, because
so many.
because it teaches you type coverage and it also makes that an important point going forward. But leveling up those monkey Pokemon takes so long because they take like their experience level growths are like really really awful. Yeah, but I would like them to do stuff like that.
One interesting thing David talks about, just adding interesting things. Remember Unknown from Gold and Silver? Like, just collecting all of the alphabet, right? Like, that was just some weird, interesting thing you can do. Like, add more of that. Like, just weird, interesting things we can do. And I'm not saying that was the only time. I just remember Gen 2 specifically. There were other weird instances of collecting different kinds of Pokemon in that kind of way, but do weird stuff for Scarlet and Violet. Like, really take the time to make us immersed in the world and make us go, like, you had to solve all these, like, hieroglyph puzzles. Like, that was so weird. But it worked because it was like, oh, man, like, I can spend all day in the Unknown Ruins. Like, that's pretty cool. So if they could figure that stuff out, that'd be great.
Something really kind of, and they may have done this already once again, but something that would be fun, at least in my mind, is going around and finding specific DNA splices, and like being able to come back and combine them to make a new Pokemon. Like, not necessarily new,
like not like the fossils.
Not like you're making a new Pokemon, but it would be something where you're finding these different DNA, and when you collect all of one, it'll like actually create a new Pokemon. Because it would be more than just I found one fossil. This would be like actually finding other things.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I think they explored that in one title recently.
I think they did, yeah.
On the DS maybe, and it was like, you could get like one thing that was like maybe a grass type and maybe like one thing that was like a rock type, and you could put them in the fusion machine and then they would come out. But it was like very limited. It was very limited to like just those few fossils. This would be
literally something that you'd have to do in order to complete your Pokédex.
Yeah.
It'd be specific Pokemon that you would have to create.
Destiny 2 players would be all over that. They love going to different areas and like collecting different pieces to form the one piece. Like,
true.
Yep.
It fits right into that kind of play. Like, that would be fun to do.
Yep.
All right. Let's get into our apples to apples segment. What is the score? We got David with 4. We got Noah with 6 in the lead, and I have 5. So let's see what happens today. David, what have you been playing?
Pretty easy to bring this up because on our last episode, ranked play dropped during our last episode. So I've been playing a ton of Call of Duty Vanguard's ranked play. I am still hopelessly not very good yet. I am right at the 1000 SR. So I am like almost into the 3rd tier of the 7 tiers.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
I'm at the 3rd from the, so I want to get to 7.
Right.
That will never happen because people are way sweatier than I am and way faster at the game than I am.
Come on, David, get sweaty.
But if I keep grinding, I'm gonna get as close to as sweaty at least. It's just fun. It's brought back a real engagement for Call of Duty because everybody's on the same playing field with the way that they restrict specific weapons. Everybody's pretty much going in with one specific weapon set, just like the pros do that you watch. So it not having a bunch of random bombs flying around or people literally in the matches we've played will start out the match aiming a launcher at the sky and launching it to try to hit you as you run out of spawn on limited live modes like search and destroy. So not dealing with that because it's restricted is pretty great.
Yeah. All right, Noah, what are your 3 words?
I'm gonna say hopelessly hooked, not awful, and you can read that as you're not awful, it's not awful, either one. And better balancing than Halo.
Ooh, shots fired. What are you trying to do over here, man? Okay. My 3 words are always late. I got you. And I had him.
All really good, but I am hopelessly hooked right now.
All right.
I am hopelessly hooked. It's just
Lead
it's
extends.
just so much fun. It's just so much fun to play. I've just had it's fun. That's the best way to put it. It's fun.
I knew that phrase was gonna win when you got here 60 minutes late.
Yeah, right?
It was 60 minutes late.
Dead on arrival.
No, 15, 16. I said 16.
15. Yeah. I wasn't 60 minutes late.
No.
No, he said 16. 16.
I'm an hour late.
But always late. Better balancing than Halo, really?
I mean, yeah.
Just because the Mangler, like one wet,
no. Just the lobby balancing, because the ranked lobby balancing is like, yeah.
Oh god, yeah. That's why I stopped playing Halo Infinite ranked right now.
Yeah.
The tiers are helping a lot. Like having everybody in so many ranks and tiers is helping a lot. I rarely play a game where I feel like I'm completely outmatched.
That's not the reason.
They're like ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not the main reason why Halo Infinite's ranked is jacked. It's not the amount of tiers. It is the way they place people.
You can play a bot match and do really well in it, and then after that, you get in an Onyx tier match because you did really well against the bots.
Oh wow,
it's really bad.
Yeah, your social MMR influences your ranked MMR.
Oh okay.
Really. So I actually don't think either are. I don't think there is a ranked MMR actually.
Okay.
So
that's pretty crazy.
All right, Noah, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a whole lot of Destiny 2, but that's not what we're talking about. I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring.
He's been hating himself from that UX. I mean, that's the worst thing ever.
Man.
Yeah.
All right, my 3 words are user experience. Wait, you can pause? And you died. David, what are your 3 words?
For me, I went with why does it hate me? From Soft's Finest and Lost Runes.
These are
all right.
These are all very good. I think I have to go with Lost Runes because there are so many times where I'm like, all right, I have to get to that spot. I can do it. I can like map my way out. And then some random enemy jumps out from behind a corner and slams me with their thing and like slams their head into me. And I'm like, all right, I'm dead already. And I'm like I panic dodge, and then they still catch me because they know I'm gonna panic dodge, and it's all done for from there.
So you should have picked you died, because I mean this.
But it hurts so much more when there's Lost Runes in play. It's because like right before I got on tonight, I was like, I have to beat this boss and then I can be done, but I have to beat it like as quickly as possible. And I don't know why I like had enough runes to level, but I didn't do it. I went to fight this boss instead, and every single time I had to make sure I grabbed him before I actually like took him seriously. And I was like talking. I was streaming, so I was like talking to him. I was like, like really pumping it up, and it's always really on the edge of your seat. But like sometimes you got to give yourself that drive. You got to give yourself the threat of losing all those runes to really drive it home. So.
Get that real adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
All right, the game I've been playing is Destiny 2, The Witch Queen. Surprise. Noah! I know, it should be Halo Infinite, but it's not. Noah! What are your 3 words for me?
I've got well. Destiny has a story, and Void 3.0 is the future.
Okay. David?
I've got Bestest Boy, Guardian of the Galaxy,
Ooh.
and Latest Addiction.
Yeah, I don't know if I could ever really be addicted to Destiny. Like, I've been burned too many times by Destiny to be addicted to it, but I am enjoying it. I'm going to say, just because it's the thing that will get me talking, is Void 3.0 is the future. I did not score today. Gosh, what an awful day.
I feel like me and ranked the last little bit.
Right? I am failing. So Void 3.0, I don't think it is the future. I think them rehauling everything is the future. I can't wait till Solar 3.0 and Arc 3.0, but I'm a Solar guy. I can't wait for Solar 3.0 because what I'm seeing out of Void 3.0 is getting me really excited. I will say, I have never used Void before because I just didn't like the element, and I'm using it all the time now. I am loving the combinations I get with it. I'm loving the build potentials I have with it. So I cannot wait till I get Solar 3.0 because then I'm going to go ham. Now that I understand Destiny 2's build, the way you can build stuff, oh yes, by the time Solar 3.0 comes out, you might see me making some build videos. I don't know. Maybe I'll be up there with Glad and Dado. Who knows? But I'm saying, I am enjoying this 3.0 stuff. I love that the fact that they give you like all the fragments and artifacts and stuff just pretty much off the top, including the grenades, and you don't have to work for it like you did with Stasis. Oh my gosh, that was really obnoxious trying to earn all that stuff, and I still haven't earned everything. I will not ever have a great Stasis build because I do not want to take the time to get everything. Side note though, one thing I do not like about Destiny 2, there's always something, but this particular thing, so you guys know they removed Beyond Light from Game Pass. So I had Destiny 2 already because it's free to play, so you could just download it. So I had Beyond Light because of Game Pass, so I had to buy it in order to, get all the other stuff. It was fine. Didn't have a problem with that. What I didn't know is that along with sunsetting all the Forsaken stuff, I still had to buy Forsaken because I can't do strikes without Forsaken. I was like, what the frick? I can't do the strike playlist without Forsaken? I'm eventually going to have to buy the Shadowkeep, which happened after Forsaken, in order to do some of the other activities. I'm like, Bungie, what are you doing? Like, why are you making me still buy these things after you sunsetted most of the stuff involved with this? So Forsaken's $20 and Shadowkeep is $25, but I found that very annoying. So I just needed to put that rant out into the ether of the internet.
Vent a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you, Noah. I was waiting for something.
You still had to buy that? Like, was that recently? Like just now?
Not like just now, but when I started doing power leveling, I wanted to do Nightfall strikes and stuff, and I said I couldn't do it unless I had Forsaken.
Wow, that was post Witch Queen.
Huh?
That was like Witch Queen. Okay.
Yeah. I only started playing again with the Witch Queen, so
that's very strange to me because,
but it's true.
Yeah, no, that sucks because I feel like that's like an oversight on their part because, like, it's Forsaken went free to play before it got vaulted.
Right, but it is no longer free to play now that Witch Queen is out. It was only free to play up until Witch Queen came out. So I think the strike was involved with Forsaken, one of the Forsaken strikes.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I'm like, you sunsetted 90% of the content. Like, we literally don't need Forsaken in order to play the Witch Queen. So just make anything that's in the playlist rotation should just let me play it. I shouldn't have to buy the pack in order to play it. Oh, that was the other thing that I needed to buy Forsaken 4. I couldn't use the Arc Middle Tree.
Oh, yeah, right.
That was annoying. I was like, dude, this thing is so old. Just give it to us.
Yeah.
I understand why, but it was still annoying. But there you go. All right, David, what have you been working on?
Well, I've been working on a lot of ranked play, but I've actually got it right here, the thing that I'm working on right now. I've got a new
Are you
keyboard.
allowed to show that?
Yes, I'm allowed to show it. They announced it Tuesday, actually.
Okay, great.
So we are
I
now
was gonna have to
working
blur
on
that
our.
out.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
I got this, and this all like pixels.
Cooler Master sent over I believe it's the CK72165 keyboard. So it's
Okay.
nice and tiny.
Put it up
Can
again.
carry
Put it up
around.
again. Let the people see it. Let the people see.
So it is a very nice little keyboard. Has that nice little
Yeah.
customizable dial over there.
Okay. Okay.
And it is
Like
a
the blue?
mechanical keyboard, so it has all the nice aluminum to it.
Very nice.
Still
Okay.
getting all my impressions together, but I like it so far. Besides that, waiting actually right now, we finally got in with Arcade 1UP, and they are sending me a Simpsons arcade cabinet
Oh,
to do
Nice.
a review on. So
Man, I
hopefully
remember
that'll be up here soon.
spending a whole bunch of money. That was the original Dark Souls right there.
Oh yeah, my man. I'm gonna be sitting in front of that thing for quite a while, that's for sure.
Yep. Barton the skateboard. That was my go-to. Noah, what are you working on?
Well, speaking of Destiny 2 and the Witch Queen, I recently worked on the gaming trend review of the Witch Queen, and it's up
Hey.
now. You can read it. And I really liked it, and I gave it a pretty high score. So, yeah.
Very good. Well, just got word that Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is on its way. And you know who's going to be playing that? This guy. Oh, yeah. I always said Borderlands, that is my destiny right there. Mm-hmm. So Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I don't know if I'm reviewing it or not, but I will definitely be playing it with whoever reviews it. So if it's me, great. If it's not, I'll be playing it with whoever's reviewing it and helping them get even better. Nobody at Gaming Trend has as many hours in Borderlands franchise than I do. That is a fact. All right. That's it for today. Appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate you watching. This is the Part Timers Podcast. And David will be late next week, but we will be here for you and all your gaming needs. Just make sure David's not playing Call of Duty. If you're watching this, make sure he gets off in time, okay? All right. See you later.